Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight I have Stu Woolley as my co-host. Tonight we're going to talk about the match reaction of the Leeds Man United game that was ended with a 1-1 draw. But we have to address the post-match interview with Ruben Amorim. So Ruben Amorim, who looked furious and fired a direct warning at Manchester United Sport. He said something like, "I came here to be the manager of Manchester United, not the coach." And at the same time, a lot of reports are saying there are internal tension between Ruben Amorim and the director of football, Jason Wilcox. We will talk about that interview and try to analyze as best as we can. So, guys, girls, stay tuned. We will do the match reaction. We will show you live footage. We will bring up the tactical board and debate what went on in the game. But first of all, we will talk about Ruben Amorim. So, guys, smash a like, subscribe if this is your first time on the Tactical Devils, and we will see you after the intro. Boom, 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 and the Tactical Devils are live. I see my compadre Stu Woolley is in the house, and a lot of you have tuned in already, and we already have a super chat from I Am Titanium Belal. So, guys, maybe we will start with the super chat and not let Belal keep him waiting. He comes in and say, Ineos has no clue. Second Ashford should have been a warning sign. Yes. So, Stu, what do you take from Bilal's super chat comment?
Look, there's a lot to unravel from today. I've been thinking long and hard what I'm going to say about the game. I've seen a lot of nonsense on Twitter by football people that I actually respect. I respect their opinions. I respect their tactical knowledge. I've just seen some utter dribble this afternoon. And then we get this supposed bombshell, I guess, from Ruben Amorim. And I think people are jumping on this 18 months bit. He's obviously got 18 months left of his contract, so he doesn't know if he's going to get his contract renewed or not, or whether he walks away. That's a fair comment. Everybody knows where football is. There's something clearly afoot. I think there's a lot of lazy journalism going on again, because anyone could. I could have written, there's issues between Amorim and Wilcox. Anyone could write that shit. Yeah. You've got to put some substance towards it. You really do have to put, if you're going to say this, you've got to substantiate what you're saying. And they don't do it. All this Twitter bait, all this clickbait, it gets everybody talking, it gets us talking, and it gets everybody talking. And that's great. That's what football's about, isn't it? You know, we all need stuff to take away from our everyday lives to get invested in. But if you're going to make a statement of that nature, you've got to substantiate it. And nobody has substantiated what the problem is. Anybody could say, Amorim, sorry.
You think it's too cryptic? That's what you're saying.
Way too cryptic. You've got people saying Wilcox and Barada, they thought we should change, after the draw at Fulham or wherever it was, etc., etc., etc. But here's the key, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the key. So Bilal makes a point about Ashworth. I think it's very, very clear, and there's been a lot of substantiated reports that Ashworth didn't feel that Amorim was the right coach, and he made his feelings known. He was overruled, etc., etc., etc. Ashworth has 3 months at United, then he's booted out. So they booted out Ashworth because the board or somebody made a decision that Ruben Amorim was the man, and that's it, period. So we can't have you working against him, so you're gone. So by that logic, Jason Wilcox is out the door tomorrow. by that logic, or the day after tomorrow, by that logic. And that's what it was. That was the whole Amorim deal. Now, we all know that to be true. And people within the know, which have got a lot more contacts in the industry than us, Jarvis, know. But I also know from a couple of people, through people, that was the case with Amorim. So with Ashworth, and that's fine. So I think Bilal's absolutely right. That was the key development in the saga that is Manchester United. What happens now is the fact that his contract's up in 18 months. We know that. So I think that's a fair statement. If he's saying he's going to leave in 18 months, whatever the case, then you have a decision to make today. You have a decision to make tonight. If that was what he actually meant, then you have a decision to make tonight, because there's no point carrying on with somebody who won't be there in 18 months' time.
Yeah.
If you have decided to make a change at boardroom level, and he's been informed about this, and he's coming out swinging, then fine. You need to make that. You need to make that change. I think we'll know in the next 48 hours. I'm guessing. My actual gut feeling on this, Jarvis, is it's a storm in a teacup. Personally.
Okay. So you think it will go pass? It will pass, and things will go back to normal in a couple of days.
Yeah, I think it's a storm in a teacup. I think Amorim's frustrated that Crystal Palace on January 1st signed Brennan Johnson. The end.
Well, the reports that came out is all about Semenyo. You know, Man United had earmarked 65 million this January for Semenyo. When that deal didn't come through, Ruben Amorim assumed that he would have that money available for other signings. Apparently, that's not how things are going at the moment, and Man United are holding back. So Ruben Amorim is feeling frustrated, as my speculations, because he don't get the backing and the power needed. But, you know, his comments are quite strange, how I see it. You know, I want to be the manager, not the coach, but he was hired to be the head coach. That was his job description when he came in. And he should have been aware. Maybe he was naive. Maybe he didn't know that he made a deal with the devil when you are talking about the Glazers / Ineos. But you know, you must assume that he was aware that he was signed as the head coach, and now coming out and saying, "I want to be the manager. I want to have more influence. I want to have more power." It doesn't make sense in a way if this is what he means by saying, "I want to be the manager."
Well, look, I take the Semenyo stuff on board, but Semenyo didn't turn out for Man City today, did he? He played for Bournemouth yesterday, so God knows what's happening with that deal. That, you know, if that was a done deal, like everybody assumed, he'd have been playing for Man City, or would have been on the bench or having his medical. I don't think that deal clearly isn't as far down the line as it was, because as I said, Palace signed Brennan Johnson like that. No pissing about. January 1st, signed. The end. You can do it. You can do it. All right. It's very, very simple with these deals. I don't think the Semenyo deal is a very difficult one. Me and you have both discussed. It's a buyout clause. The end. You have got a sell-on clause or a buyout clause in your contract. Somebody activates it. It's a done deal, Jarvis. That's the whole idea of those clauses. So I don't know what's happened there between City and Semenyo, but if he was going and it was imminent, he wouldn't be playing for Bournemouth yesterday. I wouldn't have if he was Semenyo, because I wouldn't have risked an injury if that deal is imminent. So I don't know what's happening there. I do believe money's an issue for him. I do believe signings are an issue for Amorim. I think you're absolutely right, pal. I would back you 100% on that. I think signings is a problem for him. I was watching Cameroon tonight. I'm sure other people were. I thought Baleba had a decent game. So did Mbumo. You know, Baleba's not likely to come to us in January, we don't think, but he's playing some better football out in the African Cup of Nations. Bumo's looking fast, he's looking sprightly. The frustration, I think, really with Amorim is not necessarily the backing in January. He's looking at his squad at the moment and thinking, what the F? I've got 7 players out injured, and I've got nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go with Wolves, and I got nowhere to go today again with Leeds. I've got nowhere to go on Wednesday because we've got the likes of Mount keeps picking up stupid injuries. Bruno, you can excuse. You can just excuse Bruno. Whether you like him or not, you can excuse him. He very rarely gets injured. Very rarely. And so you can count it on one hand, I think, the amount of times he's been injured. Maguire should be back now. I don't know what's fucking holding him up. De Ligt's still feeling his back, apparently. You know, these players have got to start growing a pair. They really have got to start growing a pair of balls and getting back and not dicking about, because the team is scraping results. I'm not saying today. I don't think we necessarily scraped a result today. I'll give you my thoughts on the game later.
Yes.
But when you look at what he had on the bench today, Amorim got nowhere to go, and I think the frustration that he'd gone to Leeds, who by the way, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored 6 goals in 6 games. It would have been 7 in 7. If Leeds had scored. That's a better strike rate currently today, strike rate, than Erling Haaland. Strike rate I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking. I'm not talking about strike rate. And his header today was as old school as you're going to see. Fantastic leap. Fantastic directional header which hit the post. But I think Amorim's got to the stage where he's in that press conference and he's fought a result out, and the lads have fought a result today. And bearing in mind, again, we'll talk about this later, guys, he made no changes. And if you read our group this afternoon, Jarvis, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I made a point. You can't make changes in this. You just couldn't. You couldn't make any changes in that game.
No. There weren't many places to go, you know, with this squad. We only had Xerxes. We could have put on some of the youngsters, but I don't know if it's the right alignment. We talked about it on the preview. So yeah,
we'll talk about it. Wrong game. So yeah, I'm wondering whether actually more of this is to do with his frustration. Oh yeah, what a strike that was! Absolutely, Catherine, no nonsense.
That was Paul Scholes-esque in a way. Yeah,
beautiful goal. I'm wondering whether frustration boiled over because he wasn't getting enough credit for the result today, and I'm wondering whether a lot of that is to do with it. So look, I understand people's points of view, and you know, people won't agree with me on my viewpoint, and I get it, and I've got no issues with that. I'm going against the grain with a lot of fans at the moment. I'm seeing our football differently to a lot of fans currently, and I think the interesting thing for me is that I think Amorim's talking about his deal. His deal has got 18 months to run. I think and I think it was a fair comment to suggest. Yeah,
just go on.
Who's that idiot?
No, don't mention
anyway, and I don't think that we'll ever, I think Amorim's looking at it from that point of view. So, but we're never going to know. So it's just, it's just one of those.
But guys, I don't know if you saw the interview. So I want to play a small segment. You know, the main segment of that. So we might as well just hear it directly from Ruben Amorim himself. This is from Red Devils' latest and Benaniman Sports. So
guys, to stop with that, and I noticed that you see selective not to be the coach of Manchester United, and that is clear. I know that my name is not Tuchel, is not Conte, is not Mourinho, but I'm the manager of Manchester United.
So again, he talks about I'm the manager. I came here to be the manager, and Be Cool came in and said he was hired as the manager. It's not how I see it, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not going to be 100%. But as far as I know, he was appointed as head coach. But maybe you're right, Be Cool. If any of you have any more insights about this, let us know. But for me, I find it strange that what he's saying. I want to be the manager. I came here to be the manager, but. Stu.
Do you know what? Manager, coach, it means nothing. There is no distinction.
It's a distinction, it is.
No, there isn't.
That's why we have a footballing structure. It's not like the old-time manager Alex Ferguson running a club and making all the decisions by himself.
Fergie, go on, coach. There's no distinction between manager and coach. You go in, you're the gaffer, you go out, you're the one that sets, as a manager, you're the one that sets the agenda for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. You're the one that sets the agenda. As a head coach, you set the agenda for the week, month, for the day, the week, the month, and the year. That's what you do. So you go in, and the head coach will come in and do, right, this is what we're doing this week. It's come from the gaffer. That's the gaffer signs off everything. And that's all a manager is. There is no difference between a manager and a head coach. You can, you at the moment, Jarvis, when you're coaching your lads, you're still the gaffer. You're the gaffer, whichever way you cut it or slice it or dice it, you're the gaffer. All this distinction that he's having to do again, I'm not necessarily understanding where that's originally come from and why all of a sudden it's coming into the ether, so to speak. So maybe he is just again fed up of this continued questioning when we've gone away to Leeds, who drew with Liverpool, by the way, at Anfield 3 days ago, whenever it is. We're going away to Leeds and we come away with a draw. And I think the frustration is not only with fans but with the press that they're just not giving the team any credit. There was no credit pushed towards the team today. And, and even if I'm sitting in his, I'm like, you just fucking give me a break. Start talking about the game. Let me talk about the game for once, rather than asking me questions about the board, asking me questions about this and questions about that. We've all got pressure points and we've all got tipping points. And somebody will tip you over the edge. And when it tips you over the edge, you'll react how you react instinctively. And that's I think where we are with it. I think it's a real problem, for him. I think he's reached that point where he's fucking had enough of all the bullshit in the press, and he's starting to fight back. Whether or not he's at loggerheads with the board, whether or not he's at loggerheads with the fans, the players, or whatever, he's reached his tipping point clearly. And it's
that's the thing, but it has accumulated, during this week. We saw it in the presser. He was asked questions about the 4-4-2, 5-4, 3-4-2-1. He said, no comment. I don't want to talk about it. He also said, he also mentioned that there won't be we're not pursuing any signings this January. He said in the presser. There have been some mysterious things, and we have been talking about this. We talked about it in the preview. We made a long segment talking about Ineos, how they have let Amorim down in a way, supporting the manager. We are in a place where we actually can qualify for next year's Champions League. All the results are going our way. Chelsea drew again today. Liverpool drew again. So we still are in the top 5, top 4 fight. We only have to string together a decent, consistent results for 5, 6, 7 games, and we will be up there for sure. But at the moment, we seem it seems impossible for us to win 2 in a row.
It does at the moment. Tyrone, it's not that I sympathise with Ruben. I sympathise with the human element of what's happening. I think we all forget that sometimes. As fans in particular, we all forget there's a human element attached to everything that we do in life. And I just think as a human, he's reached his tipping point. We've all got one. We've all got one. It doesn't matter, it might be a low yield, low threshold. It might be a high threshold, but I think from a human element, I've got the sympathy, absolutely. He's made, he's made mistakes.
For me, I sympathize with Amorim because he was hired as we knew what type of formation he played.
You said straight away. You said in the summer.
So for Wilcox and for Berarda and the football instructor to come in and ask him to play another formation, I think it's disrespectful, and it's not how a football instructor should back his manager. But if it's tension, it means that people care. I have no problems with the tension between the director of football and the head coach or manager. That's normal. In every competitive environment, you have tension. You can't agree on everything. It's not just yes men. This is what I like. I like people having an argument, having their say. But now I feel that the problem is Ruben Amorim's frustration at the moment. Now we have come to a point where he's starting to leak this out to the public, and we are watching a civil war or whatever Mark Goldbridge called it, playing out in front of our eyes, and it could be a problem at the end, and if the tension rises and everything goes public, it could end with Ruben Amorim losing his job.
Well, look, he could walk away, he could get fired, or he could be here in 18 months.
He clearly said, I won't walk away, I will stay here.
Yeah, he did say, but he could walk away, he could get fired. But ultimately, where do you go? I mean, do we want this conversation in 2 years' time, Jarvis? Because we're going to have it in 2 years' time. Unless the club fundamentally changes, we're going to have the same conversation. Look at the managers that have come in and have the experience of these managers have come in and they can't do anything with this club because they're not getting the players that they want. David Moyes didn't want Fellaini. We all know that. He come out and he said he didn't want Fellaini. He thought he was getting Fabregas. He's come on record and said, I thought I was getting Fabregas. I was told I was getting Fabregas, and it's gone downhill from there. We just haven't had the running of the club that is going to allow any manager to flourish. It really isn't. Look at the way that Ollie was treated, and he got us playing the football that all the fans wanted, and then all of a sudden, a couple of bad things happened to him. A couple of players started chucking their toys out the pram. The players got backed, and Ollie was booted. Okay. Oh, you're on mute, dude.
Ollie wasn't backed either. We needed
exactly
a right back, and we wanted Trippier, we wanted Declan Rice. They gave him Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly. Ronaldo, we had a chance to come back, and before we know it, all our budget's gone because he is Super Arts 4058. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I think he is.
Yeah, he obviously he's fed up. Let's play the rest of his comments. So,
and it's going to be like this for 18 months, or when the board decided to change. So that was my point. I want to finish with that. I'm not going to quit. I will do my job until other guy is coming here to replace me.
Think you feel that?
Yeah. So he's staying. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stay here the remainder of the 18 months or until they sack me, basically.
Yeah, or they give him a new contract. If they give him a new contract, we can't see into the future. We haven't got a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. But thank you so much for the super chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. The turnaround on this issue has to be dealt with within 24 hours, or he's going to be in the dugout at Burnley. You can't fuck about between now and the Burnley game. You can't do it. We don't have the time to dick about here. You either do it or you don't. You can't sit on it for a week. We've got Burnley Wednesday, and it escapes me who we've got the weekend. Oh, sorry, we've got Brighton in the Cup, FA Cup.
Mm.
You can't, we don't have the luxury of sitting on this and making a decision. If the board want him gone, there'll be a conversation tonight, and it'll either get leaked tonight or it'll come out in the morning that the board are meeting, blah, 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 blah.
Do you actually think this is a possibility right now? Do you think?
I think it's
because I saw some reports coming out, but it's talk sports and all of this. It's mainly bullshit, most of it. But the reports said that the hierarchy has already, they have a succession plan for Ruben Amorim if he gets the sack. So they already have someone in mind who they will bring in.
Again, that's lazy journalism. It's not rocket science.
Yeah,
You're not just going to sack somebody and not have it, surely, and not have an idea of what you want. You're going to bring in Michael Carrick or whatever, hypothetically, it's just a name, to come in and steer the ship to the end of the season. And then you get your chosen manager, Javi or Glasner or whoever, to come in the summer. So, from that point of view, again, when TalkSport are doing this, they do, big fucking news. Really? I mean, really? Where's the common sense element attached to, reporting in today's day and age? It just isn't. There just isn't any common sense attached to it. It's just easy journalism. And we lap it up. We as individuals lap it up. It's as simple as that. And I know about this because I'm a media guy. I'm a journalist. I know how it fucking works. So I know it's lazy journalism. I could write it. I could write half the headlines with my eyes closed of what's going on, what people will say, what they want to do for clicks, what they want to do for fucking views and things of that nature. It's easy. It really is easy. Anybody could do it.
Yeah. I think we have covered enough. We have covered 26 minutes on the Ruben Amorim thing, and I think we will put it to bed for now. And it's time to focus on the game. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about Leeds, Ellen Road, 1-1. On paper, before the season started, we should have expected a win against Leeds. They are newly promoted, and they are fighting relegation, but they are now, I think they sit 8 points clear of West Ham or something in that bracket. So they are doing quite well, but they still need to win more games, as their manager said in the post-match interview. But for me now, I felt that the result was okay. I predicted 1-1, and I said in the show on Friday that I would be okay with it. I will take it because I feel right now we are on the bare bone. We are struggling, and this is our level at the moment. It's mainly because of injuries and the AFCON. So we lack a lot of depth in the squad. If you look at a game, I will bring up some stats. We can start with that. Let's go here. So possession-wise, we had 55%. Leeds had 45%. XG of 1.58, and Leeds had 0.9. So 11 shots against 15, 3 on target for Leeds and 2 on target for us. So, again, it was an even game. The game ending 1-1, I think it's quite suiting for the type of game it was. We had 4 corners, they had 6. And, the XG was, as I said, 1.58. So, at least we scored 1 goal on these chances. Let's see if I can find where's the momentum. No. Okay, I'll find the momentum. Give me 2 seconds. So what's your take on the stats?
I've been thinking about this all afternoon, how I'm going to approach what I'm going to say about the game, because I'm with you. I didn't think Leeds were anything special today. How they've turned it around over the last 6 games, I don't know. I didn't see anything directly from Leeds that would be threatening. And there's a simple reason for that. Well, in fact, there's 2 reasons for that. And the first is that Farke is a championship level manager. He is.
Big up, Sebastian.
Big up, Seb. He is a championship level manager. The second thing is that Leeds are a championship level team.
Yeah.
The reason that clubs like us, Liverpool, Premier League clubs are struggling against them is because they can't cope with the time element and lack of time that they get on the ball when you're playing a championship level team who will just run for 90 minutes. Nonto, when he came on, he just runs. Aronson, who scored the goal, he just runs. There's no guile to Leeds. There's no skill set to Leeds. There's just dogged roughness to Leeds. And when you come against a dogged side, a really dogged, determined side that's going to try and outrun you and try and outmuscle you, it becomes a very difficult game of football. You know your stuff. The devilish tacticos know their stuff. And it was a difficult game out there today. There's absolutely no chance you could have put Tyler Fletcher in that mix. No way you could have put Shea Lacey in that mix. Mantanto, in that mix, and any other younger player in that mix. He did the right thing today, was make the one change and bring on Xerxes when he was forced into it, because he had to make that change at that time. And by not changing the back four. In fact, it was interesting that they mentioned it, didn't they, with about 10 minutes to go, I think. They were saying that, oh my God, it's a miracle he's not changed the back four. You couldn't do it in that game today, Jarvis. It's one of those games, and you've been involved in tons of them. I bet the devilish tactic.
Formation doesn't matter when you go man-man. It was a man-man game. That's the thing. The teams were matched up evenly, and basically Leeds had +1 defensively, and we had +1 defensively. Yeah. And we tried to build out.
That's why you couldn't. And that's why you couldn't change it. That's why you couldn't bring on a defender. You can bring on any of the kids. Nothing more than that. Not saying they're bad players. You just couldn't do it at that particular time. But you're right. So Farke lacks the intelligence of a top-level manager. And you could see in the way that Leeds played, and you could see the way that he was trying to beat us. And you're absolutely right. We just married everything up. We just matched everyone up. The amount of fouls that Cunha received again today, the amount of times that, I'm going to say, Cesco was completely out-muscled by Briol and Stroke today. They were elbowing him. They were just doing old-fashioned bang. Yeah. Every time they got round and bang, they're just punching him. And he lacks aggression to Cesco. Should have scored. We know that. But he lacks aggression. So I'm going to sum up with the team that we got no creativity in there. Let's be clear. Zero creativity. Yeah. No runners. No pace. There's only Cunha that could do something and help us get out, until Xerxes came on and he just had that little bit of guile at the right time. And that finish by Cunha was sublime. It was a brilliant finish at the right time to push us where we needed to be. Could we have gone on and won it? I think actually we could have, Jarvis, if I'm being honest, pal. I think we could have taken a bigger risk with about 10 minutes to go. But they come out with some speed, didn't they, with Nonto? They come out with some speed. Well, I want to talk about the Aronson goal quickly. I know I'm going to talk about it with Heaven. And that's what I'm talking about, a championship player. That's the type of championship player that does that. Just keeps running and running and running. Thought he finished it well, by the way. I'll give the kid a bit of credit. I thought he finished it well. But I thought we defended okay, if I'm being honest. I didn't think we looked out of place. I'm not going to eat Evans' lunch too much. He was ball watching, no two ways about it. But, we've got to be clear about that. We'll cover that. But I think ultimately we should be quite happy with the results, and we can move on against Burnley on. I think we're away, aren't we? Burnley on Wednesday night. I think 8:15 kickoff, live on TV. So let's just take the game for what it was today. It was just a very, very difficult game.
It was a poor game, and for me, the effort is there. It's as I said, you go man, and it's how you line up, and there was a lot of scruffy duels. You never have time on the ball. It's always like
zero time,
a fight for everything, and in both teams, they tried to play out from the back, but they didn't have the quality. So it ended up by just playing it long, and ended up with the duel. And we played quite simple in a way. We tried to play out from the back. We were pressed, and then we played it long to Cesco. Tried the layoff to Casemiro, and Casemiro tried to hit it behind every time. And it was so predictable. and it was super boring to watch from a tactical point of view because
there was no
had
tactics.
nothing. And as you talk about the creativity, no creativity. Only when Xerxes came on, it started to look quite a little bit of interest.
I think you're right. From a tactics point, there's zero to say about the game, Jarvis, because they're just. And Leeds played it that way. That's what Leeds wanted. Leeds didn't want to get into a game of football with us.
No,
they wanted to get into a scrap with us, and that's all it was. It was a scrappy game. It was awful. You talk about us being married up one-on-one. I watched Stack and I watched Casemiro. I thought Stack had an okay game.
It was good. I liked him. I liked him.
I know he's a tall guy. I quite liked him. I thought Casemiro showed a real discipline today, and so did fucking hell. We're on 50 likes already. Wow!
Thank you guys. Thank you.
That's brilliant. And I thought, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Jarvis. You might giggle at this. I thought Ugarte was disciplined today.
Ugarte had a quite good game. I liked Ugarte.
He had to be, didn't he? They both had to be disciplined. Dalot gives the ball away. I agree. I don't think they score if Dalot wasn't loose. I agree. Maybe Heaven wasn't expecting Dalot to lose the ball.
But again, why do we try to dilly dally when we don't have we don't have the quality needed to play ourselves out from the back? So why do we even bother? Just hit it long to Cesco and try it over and over again, the same thing. And this is why we conceded this goal, because
Mike's right. You're absolutely right here, Mike. Never do, never have, and never want to play football against you. You're absolutely right. Leeds are scared of playing against us because we would open them up quite easy today. Whether we would have scored 2, 3, 4, it remains to be seen. But yeah, I agree with that. It's a really good comment. Yeah, absolutely.
And Wolves agrees with you, Stu, when it comes to Casemiro. Gave the ball away a lot in the first half, but Ugarte had a decent game, to be fair.
He did. He was better second half, I thought, Casemiro. He did give the ball away. There's a couple of really poor giveaways, actually. Wasn't there 5-yard passes he got completely wrong. So,
yeah. I can bring out the tactical board, but there's not much to say when it comes to the tactics. But, we set up, in a way, let me just remove this comment for do it like this. So, they set up with the back three, 3-5-2 formation, but Justin and Goodmanson were quite deep at times, and Cunha, they tried to find the space in between. He moved a lot. Dorgu, same, but he kept wide and then inverted. Dalot was overlapping, trying to overlap and do things, but you have no creativity. Players like Dalot, like Dorgu, I think Dorgu started the game in the first 15 minutes. It was quite good. He was lively, but
he was bright.
There weren't much. I think Cesco struggled a lot. He was alone, against especially Biol and Pascal Struck. It was basically 1 against 3 at times, and
it was.
Ugarte was a little bit higher. He pushed Gruev, their DM or Stash deeper. And Casemiro had a little bit of space centrally, in this pocket, I would say. And our trio, where we're trying to play the ball out from the back through Leeds' 2 strikers. So Okafor was a little bit deeper. I think the plan was he was going to man mark Casemiro, but he didn't. So it ended up when we played out, we usually gave the ball to Martinez, for example, over to Cesco, and he laid it back to Casemiro, and then Casemiro tried to find Dorgu or Cunha or Cesco, whoever, on one touch passing.
Yeah, boxing straight talks. They did match us up man for man, absolutely, and they were braver, they were stronger than us, quicker to the ball than us on occasions, and outmuscled us a lot. So I agree.
But as I said, there were elements that I liked, especially in the beginning. I liked how Dalot and Dorgu played together. I have one clip here that caught my eye from the beginning of the game, and if you see here, Dalot is on his way forward, and Dorgu is here now, so he moves outside. The thought is he will drag the defender with him, but the defender stays and goes to Dalot, who inverts. So I liked, the the crisscross movement, and if you see here, Dorgu goes outside and
you can, that's
yeah.
it.
But you know, when the defender doesn't follow Dorgu, he gets space.
Yeah,
But you know,
to be
he's
fair
not
on
good
that one,
enough
I was
receiving
going to say,
at this point. You know, if you're a good, like let's say Ahmad, you take it one touch in this direction or down to the byline.
Because you're only against
you
strike.
challenge this guy because you 1-against-1 in this instance.
Yeah, you're only against strike at that point. The interesting thing, obviously, Goodmanson had a shout from strike. Don't worry about it. Come inside on Dallo. I'll take care of Dorgu, and he did. And you know, that's decent communication. Okay, I'm not going to say it's great defending, but it's good communication. But absolutely, a better player rinses strike there in one turn, and he's away. Because strike at that particular time is coming over, and he's not quite set at that point. Get round him, get the ball in, or hit the box, and you're absolutely right, pal, in terms of that kind of play. So, and then Dorgu will get it, and I can't remember I would imagine he tries to whip a left foot cross into the box or whatever. I can't remember that particular piece of play.
No,
but not great defending by Leeds, but okay defending. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, but in this play, you know, there are things that could have happened. For example, Cunha. I would love for Cunha to take a diagonal run, try to drag this player with him, open up space. I like Dallo's movement. He continues his run in this direction, and Dorgu goes inside. But Cunha, he stays, so he crowds the space a little bit for Dorgu. He doesn't open up, and it doesn't give him an option to play it to the corner flag for Dorgu. So, you know, always when it comes to us, we look disjointed. We don't have a clear pattern of how we attack. But you know, in this instance, at least I like Dallo's movement.
I think you're right there, because I think Dorgu could have played this is the Dallo movement.
Yeah, but it ends in nothing because Dallo he had the ability to do anything with the ball in this instance. But at least
I'd have played Cunha in with the first time.
Yeah,
back spin pass over, let it drop in front of him, and then could Cunha strike on goal. I mean, his fucking goal that was offside. Well, absolutely tremendous.
You see all the space Dallo gets because of his run.
Yeah. But he didn't bring it down properly.
No. You know, it's Dallo. It's Dallo. Sorry, Grace. You know about.
yeah. We love you, Grace, but
yeah. So you know, I think it was interesting seeing it in the beginning how we did it. I think Leeds had a good striker today. I think Calvert-Lewin is proper striker movement, as you mentioned, Stu. You know how he moves as a striker, and he made it difficult for us. But Aiden Heaven, Lenny Oro, I know even Martinez. I think they defended quite well, and
I think we defended okay today, Jarvis. It does help, though, that Lammens has really got some real confidence now in his area. And the back three are now understanding, or back four, because we reverted into a back four on a couple of occasions today, as you know. And Lammens is coming off his line. He's prowling the full 18 yards when he needs to, and that's great. He's catching the ball when he needs to. It's so interesting, making some good saves, really good saves when he needs to as well. So I think it really helps having a real competent goalkeeper behind you. I know, speaking as a centre half, I love a competent keeper. And if you just know that if you miss it and you've got Lammens in there to take it, absolutely fucking brilliant. Really tough with Lammens. But you're right about Calvert-Lewin. Just some intelligent runs today. And I can see, Bilal, thank you so much.
Thank you for the donation. Thank you so much, Bilal.
I can see a maturity 100% in Calvert-Lewin. His header, by the way, was supreme. It was a fantastic.
I was about to show you this because.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. That's okay. Because when I talk about proper striker movement, we all know how, for example, Harry Kane evolved his play by dropping deep and then attacking the box. And you can see the same movement here in this instance. He goes for, it's Calvert-Lewin. It's a duel. You know, it's a long ball. We're playing it to Calvert-Lewin, and he wins he wins the duel here and flicks it on. So in the next instant, Leeds go by the byline, and if you look at Calvert-Lewin here,
His
how
space.
he moves, I like his movement. He just waits until the right moment. He never crowds the space in front of him. He waits always until the right moment before he makes his run. And when he comes, he times it perfectly, and he heads. Did he hit the post?
Hit the post. Yeah.
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 So could have ended with a goal. But it's the movement I like. So I mentioned it the other day that right now I wish that we have signed Calvert-Lewin as a backup striker, because he looks like a proper striker.
He wouldn't be backup. I think he'd be playing. To be honest, did you see his goal against Liverpool that was ruled out?
Yeah.
It is great finish. I thought it was a great header. I mean, as good as Lammens is, he ain't getting that. No chance. Absolutely no chance. But apart from that, though, I did feel we handled him really well. Heaven in particular, I thought handled DCL very, very well. And when it was called upon with Yoro, when it was called upon with Martinez, I thought they all did their bit with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But that was a great piece of play. Really, really good piece of play.
It was, Cesco, that was.
Cesco should be looking at that, definitely.
Yeah. But I think people give Cesco a lot of stick. But to be honest, I like what I see from Cesco. I like that he actually goes into a lot of duels. He's available. He wins headers when he drops down. He's a target man. You find him, you see him. He's a big guy. And it's not an easy job, being the single striker against three defenders.
We're having Rasmus Højlund issues with him again. Unfortunately, the service isn't there for him, or he's not making the runs for the service. Now, did you remember in the first half? I don't know whether you got it, but Cunha pops one across, and everybody's saying, doggy, why weren't you in the back fucking stick? A striker of predatory instinct, i.e., I don't know, Calvert-Lewin, fucking Jamie Vardy, it's in the back of the fucking net. It's in the back of it's in the fucking Cavani. He's peeling away. He's doing his fucking salute. He's gone. Mm-hmm. Even before Cunha's realised what's happening. Strikers of that know where to be at all time. Get across the defender, bang, peel away, take the adulation and fucking cry, thank you very much. Cunha's looking around going, what the is going on here? He's thinking, he's probably said to Cesco, Strand Larson would have buried that, mate. Come on. I know he would have been on the back stick when I was at Wolves. Come on. He can't even get in the City side at the moment. But anyway, that's just a small point. I thought he was weak, unfortunately, today. I don't think he was strong enough for me. I thought, but is it Malaysia? I thought bullied him. I thought Strike bullied him, pretty much all game. But when he did get the ball down, Jarvis, I will give him some credit. I thought he used it quite well, but I thought he lost out way too much. Got to learn how to back into a centre half. He doesn't quite know how to back into a centre half yet. He's not quite using his bulkiness, his bigness, and he wasn't as quick on the ground. I didn't think today either. When he did get in, I don't think he was quick on the ground. That one where he got in, and I think their keeper Perry just got there before him. He should have been in there. It's tackling the sliding, tackling the keeper, whatever. But look, I said Osherman, didn't I, all day long? That's
you said so. Yeah,
I would have gone Osherman. But look, I'm not saying you're not going to see Cesco at some point come good, because I think he probably will. But I think at the moment we're not suiting his style of play. But I don't know his style of play anyway, so I don't think we're suiting it.
No, but
this is my humble opinion.
But what I mean when I talk about Cesco, it's his movement.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not perfect, but he's young. It's his first season in the Premier League, and he needs to learn. Yeah, he needs to show more aggressivity when it comes to winning those duels. He needs to be like the hard man. He needs to show the centre backs. He's not going to be pushed around. But then again, I like how he just wanders and he's always in the right.
He's moving, isn't he? His
space.
movement in terms of his 10-yard
He's in
wander.
between the centre backs. He's right in
Very
front
good.
of goal
Yeah.
in the situations. He's not like
Yeah.
Rasmus. It's all a coincidence when he moves or not. But
Yeah.
I like
No, I agree with
Cesco,
you on
and
that.
I think he can come good. I think it's a confidence issue, and he just needs to adapt a little bit more to the Premier League. He's playing in the Bundesliga tempo yet. He's not up to
Yeah.
speed when it comes to the Premier League tempo.
Look, I agree with you with his movement, his little moves in and around. I totally agree. I mean, the one where he was offside and he missed a get that open goal. It was an easy goal. Come on.
Oh.
And he put it about 10 yards wide. I mean, he's probably gone, flag was up, don't worry. I knew the flag was up. But the one where the cross came in from, was it Shaw? And he kind of, the ball came across and he didn't get his foot wrapped around it. He kind of, the ball kind of went the way that he was facing and the trajectory he was facing. I was a bit surprised about that one. I'd like to see him. But what we saw against, was it Wolves where he hit the bar? I've lost track now.
Well,
no, was it Wolves? Hit the bar, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. Anyway, he hit the bar. So yes, there is something there. That's his Bundesliga. Cesco, isn't it?
Stu, look at this situation, for example. It's at the end of the game, but if you look how many Leeds players who's surrounding Cesco at all time, his conditions is super hard being a striker in conditions like this. So look at him. He's surrounded, but even then, he's surrounded 1, 2, 3 players close by, close proximity. But he gets to lay off the ball and gets the game moving. And right away, he doesn't stand and look at what he's doing. He's taking a diagonal run directly.
Yeah.
And I like these small bits. This is why I'm positive, because I feel this is something to build on. And I think in the future, when he adapts more to the Premier League, I think he is a decent striker, and he will be a decent striker.
Got to go left there. Take out, I think that's is that striker or is that BLG? Whoever it is, anyway, take him out. Use your left arm, go across him, take him out. That's your space. That's your space. Dorgu, but you're right. Before we carry on, fella, I know exactly what you're going to say, and you're 100% right. Dorgu hasn't got a right peg, so it ain't coming in straight away. He's going to stop it. He's going to put on his left, and then straight gets back in. I get it. But if he comes across there, if you put a diagonal left in front of strike or whoever it is, just put a diagonal left arrow right in front of him.
In front of
strike. So go left to so go from Cesco to strike or BLG.
Where's strike? Is this strike?
Yeah, just say that strike. I don't know if it is or not. Put an arrow from Cesco right in front of him.
Yeah. So you want him to go directly.
That's it. Yeah. Use your left arm, block him with your left arm. He's in. The end. The end. Nothing more, nothing less. But as I know you're going to say, Dorgu wouldn't whip it in, and that's absolutely correct. So I can't have a go with him then, can I?
But but I see opening up spaces for others. If you go there, you are dragging the defender with you, and then you will open up space for the next guy to come in. There's always, because this is how you manipulate the defenders and the opposition. You always, and this is the Ruben Amorim football. What we have been talking about, the Gyökeres move, always trying to go diagonal, the dragging, opening up space for others to come in, and then you attack hard with a full force. That's just my take on it.
No, you're right. Interesting thing though for me, from a defender, I want Cesco to go the way you want him, Jarvis. I want him there, because that's great for me, because I can get him behind him and I can do something about it. If he's coming across me, I'm in big fucking trouble there. Big trouble. I'm in real trouble. I'm going to have to drag him. I'm going to have to grab his shirt. I'm going to have to do something, and I'm in big trouble. I'm talking potential penalty there, because he's in and I'm in trouble. So, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the way that Amorim wants it to play. But then you need Xerxes to come directly, as you quite rightly said. You need that cross, don't you? Cesco one way, Xerxes the other. But again, if the ball doesn't fucking come in, what's the point? But your point's right.
I have another clip, and also this is his big chance when he misses from an open goal, almost from 5 yards. But the build-up is similar. He's crowded. Ball comes up from Dalot. But
yeah, he took it well there.
As soon as he takes the ball, he manages to get a little bit of space from the defender. He separates and have enough time to do something with the ball. And you're always crowded. You're always with the back against the goal, and the defender is coming in hard. But even then, he gets the ball going and the attack flowing. So, but Xerxes came on and he got a little bit more help. Xerxes was smart in his movement. He kept it close.
Very smart.
Yeah, he kept it close. So again, we played on the wing, but again, you see Cesco right away. He doesn't stand there and admire his own pass. He just moves on directly and tries to create a threat. So again,
he did well in that phase of play. And that's right. I just like to see him arch his body a bit, get his bum out and stop the defender, but anyway.
So the ball goes out to Cunha. The overlap comes from Xerxes into the middle. I don't know what happened here, but
it's a terrible miss.
The ball goes here. He should have just.
It's like basically he's shooting the way in his face, and it's a terrible miss. I'd like to see him take on his left peg, to be honest, because he would have driven it across to the right. But it's easier said than done. That his job is my old mate. So,
but if you analyze Cesco's movement while he's in the box, what do you see? Let's just take it back a little bit. So from here, let's focus on Cesco.
He's watching the play, and then he stuttered and stopped. And when he stopped for the second time, the defenders
smart movement.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, I've got you. Yeah. Shit, where is he? Doesn't even look at him. The defender doesn't even look at Cesco once. And Cesco's realised that. That's why he stopped. Ball comes in, left foot. Anyway, look, it's easy to say, isn't it? Left foot. Let's be fair. Let's not eat his lunch over. But left foot, I think he scores.
Yeah.
Brilliant movement. But I just like the defender whistling away. Brilliant.
But Sean agrees. The movement was good. The finish wasn't. But this is where I'm at the moment. I see good movement and I see the potential. But it's just.
I think we should be clear. By the way, the point you're making is his movements. You're not talking about his finish. You're just talking about them. Forget everything else. It's the movement to get yourself into that position. Absolutely, totally agree. Now you've got to work on the finishing element of your game. Then get that finished. Get that done.
But Ruben mentioned it in his post-game interview that he just needs to score a goal, and then you will see a different player with confidence.
I agree. Didn't we say that with Hoyland last season or the season before? I can't remember how long he's been with us, but he didn't score, and he scored 6 on a spin or something along those lines in all competitions.
Yeah.
We scored a few, didn't he? So, look, really interesting. I take that point. Great point, Mikey. Again, I like that physicality. I think you're right, mate.
Yeah.
And I think I like it. The point was well made, my old mate. From a defender playing against Cesco right now, if you're just saying on a Ruben Diaz level, at that level, I'd quite like it. I think it'd be quite an easy afternoon. And Leeds tried to do was bully him. But I will say one thing: as much as I thought he was weak, Jarvis, he stood up to it all game.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes, 92 minutes, 93 minutes, how long it was, he was pummeled. He stood up to it. So let's.
Stu, we have a question coming in from Tyrone. I hope you're well, Tyrone. It says, can someone explain how Man United still conceded despite Amorim using a majority of defensive-minded players?
Well,
why can't we go and have
a clean? To be honest, it was a bit of a comedy of errors, Tyrone. The error from Dalot flummoxed Heaven. Heaven didn't see or didn't hear or forgot Aronson had been, at his heels alongside Yoro and alongside Martinez all game. Aronson was he was like a gnat. He was just like a tick, just ticking and ticking and ticking, just biting you constantly. And he forgot how quick he was, and he got in and he pushed it in. So it was a big mistake that was by Dalot. And I'm gonna have to eat Hammond's lunch a little bit. He was just ball watching, or rather nonchalant or arrogance in his play at that particular time. However, you don't get away with it in the Premier League. We know that, but his last couple of games has been absolutely phenomenal. He's really turned up and been. We're starting to see some player there, lads. Yeah. We really are. Just a quick one. Hello from Malta. Sorry, we are doing that, don't we, pal? Hello, my mate. Good to see you, Tyrone. I hope that answers your question, but it was a comedy of errors, really, from Manchester United. We conceded. We were culpable as a group of players in conceding that in that goal.
Yeah, we can have a look at that goal. So, and I think Rosmano sums it up quite nicely. I say Dalot gave the ball away, Heaven switched off. Simple, really.
He did, yeah, he did. I mean, it really is a fair point. Tyrone, I agree. We can't be too reliant on him. I think you're right. Good night,
Catherine. Good night.
Catherine, watch the show back. Jarvis, if he's got the save, he will show the Lammens save for you. I promise.
Yes, the Lammens save 100%. I have the. You talk about the bicycle kick.
The bicycle kick, and what a save that was!
Yes, that is a brilliant save. So let's just look at the goal we conceded. So again, you see, we try to dilly-dally, we try to play ourselves out from the back. We know it's Amorim style. We want to attract press. We want to set up a trap and move and then switch over to the other side or play directly to our number 10s. Will be open. Set up the diamonds, but again, it's a poor pass from
Yoro.
Was it Lenny Yoro?
Yoro into Dalot.
And Dalot, he's not looking over his shoulder. You should control the ball in an instant like this. And this is where everything happens, because Heaven, he doesn't realize what's going on. He doesn't scout. He doesn't look. You don't have control over Aronson in this situation.
Hasn't a clue.
No.
And it's really bad from Casemiro. It's really bad from is that Yoro? Yeah. I don't know who it is.
Where's the urge? Casemiro should be shouting at it.
Yeah. Man on, throw in. Throw-in is what he shouts at that particular point. Get it out for a throw-in. And he's rapid, Aronson. We know he's rapid. And you could tell, actually, by the way that Heaven was jogging. I'm going to say jog, because he was. He wasn't in sprint mode. He was like jogging, thinking, I've got it. And no, I don't know whether there was any communication, whether anybody said anything towards him. Stephanie Griffiths, by the way. Hey, Steph. She was right. As soon as Aronson got in front of him, he was done. He was finished. Heaven couldn't touch him. It's a pen all day long. So
it would have been a red card, So
yeah,
I think it was
right. It would have been a red. But I thought he finished it well, to be honest, the kid. I'm going to be honest.
But he cuts in front of him, and that's the thing, Look at him here.
Did you see the last minute, too late, Heaven put his heels in, but it was too late. The kid had already got the manoeuvre of his elbow there, ready to get in front. It's a good finish. It's a good finish.
It's a good finish, but poor effort from Heaven. I think Heaven had a good game, and this is what you get from young centre-backs. They will make mistakes. They're not at that level yet, but I see the potential also in Heaven. I think he can be one of the best centre-backs in the world. Just give him time. He's still young. 5
minutes later, Jarvis, right? The ball's in the air, and he's got a backward header to do. He executed it brilliantly.
Yes.
Brilliantly. He's like, okay, forget about it. I think when we back in at 1 apiece at the time, I think Cunningham scored. And a backward header executes it brilliantly, and we're back on the attack. So fair play to the lad.
Yeah, that was right before we scored the equaliser.
Was it right before? Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, I was pleased with him. Yeah, Martinez was slow. I think Daz is right. I think as much as Heaven was culpable, I think Martinez could have got across a bit quicker. But hey, look, it is what it is. He was a bit slow there. I think you're right.
But the thing is, if you look at this is where you actually see the movement from Aronson. I think this is brilliant, and you talked about Cesco coming in front, and this is what you have to do. You have to be able to cut in front of the defender. And if you look at Aronson here, he just leans in, and there's nothing Heaven can do.
No, nothing Heaven, nothing that Lammens could do either. It was a really, really good goal. But again, Boxing Straight Talk says 50 million for Euro, 1.5 for Heaven. We got him out of Arsenal's academy, didn't we? I think we forget them. Yeah. And fantastic talent, really fantastic talent. I think I'll tell you what, I think we are missing Maguire's heading ability at this point in time. But you're gonna take some. I mean, he's not going to get dropped, isn't Heaven? It's one or the other. Euro's not likely to come in. Luke Shaw. I think we go back four when De Ligt is back, because you just ain't dropping Heaven, pal. For De Ligt, it's just not happening. And
I like this from Boxing. He's a positive in the current shit show.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. I think I totally agree. At the end of the day, he has been a big, big positive for us. And that's I agree with. I've got no issues with that at all.
But what do you think will happen with Heaven when De Ligt and Harry Maguire is back? I think he's back to being the fifth choice centre back.
No, he stays.
You think he stays?
It's Heaven plus.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think we go to a straight back four. I think we go with Shaw. I think it's going to be De Ligt. I think it's going to be Heaven. I'm going to have it a guess and say it'd be Dalot, or Shaw moves it out to wing back or left wing-ish, and Martinez plays left back. But I think it's Heaven plus one.
Okay.
I really do. I really do. I think if he is removed, so it's De Ligt, Martinez, Shaw, and Dalot, I think that'd be a travesty.
Yeah,
I honestly think it's Heaven plus. I really do. What do you think in the comments, guys? What do you think? It's a great question by Jarvis. When De Ligt and maybe not so much Maguire, because I think Maguire probably wouldn't. It's De Ligt over Maguire. What do we think about Heaven? But I think he stays. I think it's Heaven plus, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think any of the other centre backs comes in on default and gets to start over Heaven. But we are under pressure, and maybe at the current stage the manager will choose experience in front of youth if he have the chance right now. Because we are at a must-win base all the time. We need to take points because we are fighting for that 5th place, 4th place. So I don't know. But I really hope that he clings on to this first team. But even then, he will have more minutes. And we have injuries. You see De Ligt, you see Maguire still injured, and having a squad. There's nothing wrong with having a good squad.
I will say this, Jarvis. I think having Heaven playing the way that he is at the moment is allowing De Ligt a lot longer, but I don't want him to milk it. I don't want him to milk his injury too much. Looking at Heaven, if I'm De Ligt, I'm thinking I better get my fucking arse into gear and back on that pitch, because I ain't playing at this point in time. I ain't disposing him, So again, Maguire, brilliant for us. We're missing his heading ability. I think we'd all agree with that. But at this point in time, I think Heaven is by far our best defender, and I think it's Heaven plus, personally.
Yeah.
But you never know with that.
Let's look at the goal. The Cunha
goal. Yes, loved it.
And for once, we managed to play ourselves out from the back. The ball comes from, I think it's Dalot up to Casemiro, who lays it off to Xerxes. And Xerxes plays a brilliant through ball on Cunha. But again, I think it's a mistake from the Leeds goalkeeper. He shouldn't be out there. And he made the finish so easy for Cunha, He should just stayed on his line. And Cunha was on his way away from the goal.
Yeah, it was an interesting Well, interesting choice by the keeper, I thought. I agree. It's a lovely ball by Casemiro.
Yeah.
Cesco again involved, by the way. That's
Mm.
a fantastic finish. It's a tough finish, that is. Because he's stretching a lot, if you look. The ball in the first time by Casemiro was great. I think they made a couple of... Have they made any? No, they've not made any changes then, had they? Tanaka wasn't on then, was he?
Cirksey was who?
Leeds. Leeds had made their changes by then, hadn't they? I don't think Tanaka was on, was he? And
No, I think he made the changes right away after we equalized, and then he went into a 4-3-3. He put on Gnonto and Tanaka. Also the Dutch guy, the striker who came into the midfield, and he actually had a good.
He got left foot straight on it, didn't he? Almost.
Yes.
Let me go.
It was what's his name? Piro.
While you're doing that quickly, it's all kicking off now. Ghana are knocking on Heaven's door. Heaven 17. It's all knocking off. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Stephanie Griffiths.
Do a couple of comments, too. Do a couple of comments.
Stephanie Griffiths is the catalyst for this. Stephanie G.
Big up, Steph.
She came up with, where is it? Oh, I've got to see if I can find it. Heaven and the Occasional Hell, I think, started it all. So she started with Heaven and the Occasional Hell.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we got? Sean is coming in with a jingle. We will win the game if you start Aiden Heaven. What else have we got? Here we go. Heaven should wear the number 17, not to be led into temptation. So Heaven 17, temptation. Temptation. Sorry for any Heaven 17 fans and me strangling the cat at that point. Interesting. Actually, boxing. I tend to agree on that one. He is very hit and miss. He has a string of very good games, and then he has one really bad game where he doesn't. What else have we got here? Rushmano.
There's an update. Give me 2 seconds. Do a couple of more comments. I'm just going to check the update. Rushmano.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Good goal from Konya Boxing. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a fine finish. Barman, good to see you, Barman. The goal we scored, their keeper paused before running out, like what happened to him. And yeah, I'd agree with that. But it's what we needed. Konya needed that. And Mikey, absolutely. It's actually, Mikey, to be honest, and I know some people have said it's a great position to be in to have Heaven, Martinez, Delict, Yoro, Maguire. It's a really good position to be in when they're all fit. Aronson found the Stairway to Heaven. You can't play Stairway to Heaven in a guitar shop. You get kicked out if you play that one. It was a fantastic strike, Steph. I didn't even know it was offside, to be honest. Some were saying it was Cesco, but I don't know. He did go for I think it was Cesco. He was in offside position. He went for the ball, didn't he? Cesco.
In the first half.
Yeah,
yes, they were in offside. They came onside again, and but it affected the play.
It
was the right decision.
Yeah, it was the right decision. What's the update?
Yeah. Well, I will give you the update pretty soon. But first of all, I just want to ask you one thing. Did you see the Liverpool game today and the VAR thing?
Oh, the VAR?
Yes.
For which part? The Wirtz goal.
Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, he was offside.
Look at this.
Yeah, he's offside. Look
at the line.
Yeah, he was offside. They all said they couldn't believe it was given. Fucking terrible.
You clearly see his foot is offside. The tip of his foot is offside.
Yeah, offside, yeah, absolutely terrible. It was a terrible decision.
And this is the VAR.
It's bollocks, isn't it? Absolute bollocks. He was offside. They all said he was offside.
That's Liverpool for you. What are the referees doing right now? It has to be a mistake, or What's wrong with my
I don't
eyesight?
know. Do you know what? No, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight. It was offside. It was a fucking glaring error. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
I don't know, but did PGMOL say anything about this? Did they come with an explanation because of this? So because you clearly see the lines in the grass
There was no explanation
on the original picture. You see the lines.
Yeah, miles off. There was no explanation. They just goal, the end. But funnily enough, and I think Daz has made the point here. There was about 7 minutes left, and I think that 7 minutes, that dicking about by VAR, gave Fulham the time for that absolute perler to go in the top corner.
Harrison Reed.
So fuck him anyway, as far as I'm concerned. It was a disgraceful decision. How they got away with it, I don't know.
It was astonished. I
was really impressed with Cunha's finish. I was really impressed. It was a lovely ball. You're right about Cesco. I think it's worth mentioning. He did change the game a little bit in our favour. They couldn't quite handle Xerxes today. His little touches. See that one he took in the air. He took that one that Dallo had fucking scooped in the air. I think it hit the moon. Come down and it just dropped on his foot. Do you remember that part? It was tight on the touchline. It's fantastic.
He was. This is the update that Roshmano sent me. He says some insiders believe that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has shown he knows little about football during his tenure at Man United so far, and he has relied heavily on Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox and company. There is frustration brewing with certain decisions that have been made amongst the hierarchy in recent months. Opinions on Ruben Amorim's decision are conflicted and have been for a while now. So, suddenly Sir Jim Ratcliffe is involved by running the football club and coming in with opinions. And clearly, we all knew it that, he's a billionaire. He knows nothing about football. Did he ever play the game himself? Do you have any knowledge? No,
he was too bothered with oil and gas and is he Chelsea season
chemicals on
that, yeah.
So it's from Solid Talks, and this also came out. It's Ruben Amorim saying, "My way of seeing football is the manager has to have full control. No deciding everything." Not deciding everything, that's different, but in my part, I have to have full control. So maybe this is what he meant. People are stepping on Ruben's toes. They are going into his territory and making decisions for him. That's for him to make.
That's what I mean. It's not full control. It's not Sir Alex Ferguson control, but it is control. I set the schedule. I set the agenda. You do as I tell you, the end. Everybody's happy. And then when it fails, you blame me. I hold my hands up. And that's so he's actually asking for accountability, which I like. I do like that. I think you should always be accountable in what you do in life. And I do quite like that.
Yeah. 100%. So at least it clears the picture and shows what Ruben actually is trying to say.
Right.
Yeah. And I fully understand, we all been in jobs, and, when people are trying to come into your territory and do your job for you, or, override you and stuff like that, it's not good. It's not good. No. I saw someone mention this and a Lammens save, so we need to have a look at the
Lammens save. Yeah, it's a fantastic save. This one. It's a really good. It was a good effort actually by the lad, wasn't it? Can't remember what it was.
Forco. No, what's his name?
Was it that,
the second striker? Okafor.
Was it Okafor? Yeah.
So let's just bring it up and we can have a look at our brilliant Belgium goalkeeper. He's so good.
He's pick that out. What a say. Thank you very much. Oh, do you know what I'd loved him to have done? Gone like that and gone and then caught it with his hand and then flicked it up and then caught it with his other hand. And then said, "You got to do better than that, kid." That's a fantastic save, brilliant save, and it was going in 100%. That was a goal all day long. That was. It was a great save.
And the thing is, you know, if you look at the close-ups, you know, I can't play this. It's too big, but we can just scroll through it. You know, look at the distance and how he managed to get out there. It's a very well-placed shot.
Can I just point out Calvert-Lewin, by the way? Tried his best to get his head on it. You watch Calvert-Lewin. I know you can't do it, but he's like that watching it.
Yeah.
Look at him.
But it's a brilliant save. It's a brilliant save because it's right by the post, you know.
Yeah, fantastic. In fact, it's Calvert-Lewin is exactly what a striker should be doing. How dare you put a bicycle kick in my territory? And that's touched me. That's touched my shoulder. I'm having that. Brilliant. I love that. The fact that he tried. Absolutely brilliant. Textbook.
Tyrone comes in and say, "Great save from Lammens. Reminds me of De Gea in his heyday."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the potential for Sene Lammens? World's number 1? 5 years?
You know, he's uncanny, really. I don't know what it is with Belgium, but it's uncanny that he's very Courtois-esque in everything that he does. His fucking hair's the same. He just looks like he's very Courtois-esque. He's really got the potential to get to one of the best in the world, probably top 5 goalkeepers in the world. Absolutely. I think if he continues to evolve at the rate he's evolved, then I do think I think he's our keeper for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I do. The only thing that's going to happen to us, he's going to follow Courtois and go to Real Madrid. That's going to be our issue.
No.
I think he is in that vein. He's probably better than Courtois was at his age, better than De Gea at his age.
And Stephanie points out, you know, he wasn't signed to be here from the start of the season, and we dropped points. We lost against Grimsby because of Onana. We dropped points the Arsenal game because of Bayindir, and you know, could have been better. You know, if the board had done its job and signed the players right away. You know, and we talked about Sene Lammens all summer long, and I don't know why we waited, but we were linked to Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, for a long time.
Look, you know, I stand corrected. You know, I said I would have chosen Martinez over Lammens.
You did,
and I've got no problem with what I said at that particular time. But now I can see why people were raving about Lammens, and I trust in Lammens coming to the Premier League and delivering, and the kid has delivered. Period. I think he's better than Martinez this season. There you go. You know, I can't admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong about Martinez. You know, when we're looking at what we wanted, Martinez would have been better than Bayindir, and he would have been better than Onana, but not better
100%.
But not better than Lammens. So there you go. So I stand corrected. I stand corrected. And
no worries. You know, it's we I have a lot of crazy takes, and you know, we don't have the script. We're just trying to.
No, we don't. Talking of which, of scripts, Sander Berge rested today. Actually came out and said you were rested, rotated and rested against Liverpool. That took some balls. That did.
But you know, I think it's the right move. Now we have the Premier League has been going on now 2 games a week. The last, let's say, the Christmas period, and
still on 2 games a week.
Yeah, I think it's the right move. You need to rest players, and also now with our thin squad, I think we could see more injuries coming in. You know, we have a game on Wednesday, then we have a game next weekend again, and we're not used to this two games a week thing, and
We're
you
not.
could
We've been used
easily
to one
see
game a week.
another player getting injured, and it worries me
We've
a
been
little bit.
used to one game a week, Jarvis. We've been having one game a week
Yeah.
for so long, and that's probably hurt us more. Hey, buddy, hurt us more by having only a single game a week rather than teams that have been playing 2 games a week. Interesting enough, though, with Sunderberg and good old Marco Silva, you got to give it to him. He was absolutely vilified a few years ago. He's come back and he's forged himself a nice little career, hasn't he, at Fulham?
Yeah,
The gaffer, nice little.
he did. He did.
Jamie, good to see you, buddy.
Big up. And Nas is in the house. He comes in and say, "Thank goodness we skipped over Martinez." He's also the clown.
No, I love his shenanigans. I think they're great.
Shenanigans.
But you're right. I stand corrected. I did stand corrected.
I don't have anything more plans to you. I think we have covered the game. We have covered the highlights. I have more clips, but we can sit here all night and analyze. But
I think ultimately there's not a lot we can talk about the game anyway.
No.
We've got maybe 24 hours of this Amorim thing to blow over because he's going to be in a presser.
I think it will go on all week.
He's going to be in a press conference either tomorrow or Tuesday. Because of the Wednesday games. So he's going to be in another press conference and he's going to get banged on about it again. What did you mean? Blah, 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 blah. This is what he said. The club have got 24 hours to sort it out.
But we never talked about the solution. We talked about trying to analyze and understand what Amorim was saying. But what should the club do in a situation like this? Shouldn't Berada or Wilcox or anyone from the leadership come out and say something?
Well, you've got 24 hours to deal with it. You've got to deal with it before his next presser. It's that simple. And his presser's either going to be Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So there's your window. You either remove him or you say nothing, and he's going to get asked about it again in the presser. You can guarantee it. So he's either there at the presser or he's not. And if he's there at the presser, forget it. It's gone. It's blown over. Because what is the first thing the reporter's going to say? He isn't going to say, "Oh, Ruben, Burnley on Wednesday. Can you give us an injury update?" He's going to forget that. That's boring. Ruben, your comments that you made post game. Have you had any further thoughts about it? Have you had any conversations?
Have you resolved your conflict with Wilcox and Berada? They're just like fishing.
Have you done that? And that's all he's going to get. So he knows he's not going to get. He might get 2 questions at the end. Okay, so if you've got 24 hours, seriously, for when he said it, the time that he had his press conference. And it's got to be done before the next presser, because if he's at the next presser, you can't fire him. What's the point?
No.
That's the first thing he's going to get asked. I promise you now. The first thing, because that's what I would do if I was a journo. You got no choice. The first thing you'll do. In fact, if a journalist comes up and says, "Let's talk about the Burnley game," he'll be like, "What? You won't know what to do. You won't know what to say." Because he knows, the board knows, everybody knows that he's going to get hammered in the presser about his post-match comments. You've got 24 hours to deal with it. Well, you've got till before the next press conference to deal with it.
Yeah, 100%. Just a quick question, Stu. What if, Tyrone comes in and say, "I'll be surprised if Amorim isn't sacked tomorrow morning." What if he's sacked in the morning?
I wouldn't have waited.
What do we do then?
Well,
who do we bring in, or what's the alternatives now?
Boxing straight.
Do we hire a caretaker for the rest of the season? Do we look for a new manager? Do we back the new manager coming in this January window, or do we assess?
Boxing straight talk is saying that maybe they're lining up Maresca. There's a 0 point sacking him in the morning. What is the difference between sacking him tonight and tomorrow morning? 0. So if you're going to sack him, you do it tonight. He's only in Leeds, so they're back in Manchester now. So you get him in, You have your heart to heart, your 1-to-1, your teams, your whatever. You do it tonight. You make your decision tonight. And it's done. It's just done. There's no point hanging into tomorrow. And if it ain't done by tomorrow evening, he's going to be at the presser Tuesday. I don't know when his presser is. Can anyone tell us when the presser for Burnley is? You know when the presser is? That's going to be your timescale. Because if he sits at that press conference table, Jarvis,
yeah,
all hell's going to break loose. Because that's all they're going to ask. Your post-match comments again after Leeds. You said this. Where are we? What did you mean? Can you explain what you meant by 18 months?
Yeah.
So all he's going to get. Forget the game. The game's done. Forget Burnley. Nobody cares about Burnley. If you're in that press conference, he's going to have to deflect it to Burnley. I'm here to talk about Burnley and Burnley only, is what he's going to have to say. You can ask me anything, Burnley.
I see Ollie as interim basis, and Carrick is a shout short term.
Look,
coming in forward.
Look, I look for me. Look, if you're going to bring in an interim manager, then I don't know. You probably try and get Carrick in, and there's two reasons for that. A, he's already done it, and B, he's not any club at the moment. But that's just going to. Then you bring in Maresca, say, or you bring in Xavi. It's still going to have the same problems. You're still going to have the same issues if it's behind the scenes that Amorim's talking about. So it's a killer. It's just a fucking killer. He has done one thing tonight, this afternoon. He's made his point now, and he's stood firm. And if he falls on his sword, he's going to fall on his sword. But I think Barada won't like it. What he said, Wilcox won't like it, Jim won't like it, and he'll get done tonight. If it gets done, if it doesn't, and he's in the presser, forget it. It's blown over. Because
I think it depends how this plays itself out. The board might be just sitting there and to assess the situation a little bit, let it see if it blows over in a couple of days or not. But if it's not, and let's say all eyes are pointing at Berada, all eyes are pointing at Wilcox, they will need to protect themselves. And the only way they can protect themselves is to just push Amorim over the cliff. And
you've removed that. He's removed the hand grenade pin. He's standing there with a grenade and the pin, and he's saying to them, either drop the pin, and I'm gone, or I'm going to put the pin back in. I take the press Wednesday, and that's it. Because honestly, if he takes the press conference Tuesday, Monday, or whenever it is, there is 0 point sacking him after that for comments that he made on Sunday. It's pointless. You've got to pull the pin now and leave it out, or you put it back in. It really is that simple. It really is.
And also, trying to be the detective in all of this, it's weird how the Vivel leak, the WhatsApp group comments about they didn't trust the Ruben Amorim after the Fulham game. And now it came out right after Maresca got the sack. So,
I read somewhere that Maresca was going back to City. I read he was going back as on the coaching team at City. That's what I read.
Well,
I don't know who that is, how true that is. Do we want Maresca? I doubt it. We've got to be. Look, if we are going to go in, but bearing in mind the type of issue, I know, bearing in mind the type of issue that Maresca's had at Chelsea, what is the point in bringing him into Manchester United? What's he going to do? As only Antonio says, Pete says, you may as well give Mr. Blobby a shot at manager United. We just keep dicking about.
Yeah.
There you go, Jamie. It's exactly what I thought. He was going to be Pep's number 2. That's exactly what I thought. I'd heard that and I'd read that.
Okay.
Again, I think Daz is right. I think Guardiola's gone in the summer, and I think that's what Maresca's there about. I agree with both
But I don't think it's fair on Ruben Amorim. You know, I'm
That's
one
why
of
we
his
said
his
the
critics, but I feel at least you give him the season, you know, and see how it ends. We still can qualify for top 4. We know he needs the correct players to play his system. We don't have the midfield to play this 3-4-2-1. I said it right away when you brought him in. Okay, this is a difficult road we have chosen. We have chosen the difficult road, the narrow road, and we need to back him properly, 100% for this to work. We haven't, and now you know it's all on Amorim, and the frustration is coming out. So you know we are in a place where this could have been avoided. You know, they should have known at the time when they hired him that this is not the right man. But when we have hired him, okay, we gotta play it through and let it see itself out. You know,
you got an update from Rushmano apparently, but what you're doing that, Joe, is my point in it being about the Prezza is the Prezza's all critical, isn't it? Because you know as well as I do, he's going to have to answer questions about it. So what's this? So you do it before the press conference. Do it tonight. You're going to do it. Tell everybody he's gone. You know, you could even say he's left by mutual consent. It doesn't really matter because that's what Chelsea's story was. Maresca went by mutual consent. But apparently it was all to do with the City job, if you believe everything in the press. So,
I'm just seeing the update from it's from Chris Wheeler, and it's on
Chris Wheeler.
Yeah, let's just find it. Give me 2 seconds. Just need to update and upload it to the computer. It takes 2 seconds, and here we are. Chris Wheeler comes in. Thank you, Rushmano, for this one. Chris Wheeler comes in and say, when head coaches or managers take on the board, usually there is only one winner. Maresca was gone 4 games later at Chelsea. Huge call for Ratcliffe and his executive team right now. Do they meet Amorim's demands, broker a peace deal, or sack him? Does he want to be sacked? And you know, this is what we have been talking about the last 5 minutes.
It's exactly what we've been talking about. It's exactly what I've said. It either gets dealt with or it doesn't.
But it could be the beginning of the end. 100%.
It's got to be done tonight. There's no point sticking him in a Prezza on Tuesday or Monday. It's pointless. Apparently, Jamie says, Jamie, what's Fab saying, pal?
I don't think Fab have any insight when it comes to this, to be honest.
Yeah. Fab's just put something out, apparently, for Fabrizio. Can you find it for us, guys? Yeah, I mean, fucking. Oh, do you know that? Did you see that Chris Wheeler thing though? Where Boxing Straight talks about head coaches or managers. What a tit! I mean, fucking hell. This is the problem with Twitter, isn't it? Head coaches, or you know, he wouldn't have said it a day ago because Amorim hadn't spoken about it. Journalism,
but you know, shouldn't we be more thick-skinned as a football club? You know, especially when tension rises, because tension will rise in a football club, because you will eventually run out of luck, you will lose a couple of games, you will have injuries, and results will turn bad for a reasonable amount of time. And in this period, tension will rise. And shouldn't we be prepared for something like this? We knew AFCON was coming up, and we knew the January window was coming up. They must have done several meetings. You know, Amorim have said so himself. They meet up all the time. They discuss the plan going forward all the time. You have said in the pressers that they have to agree. They have to find common ground if they want to sign players. And suddenly now it feels like Amorim don't meet common ground with these guys. And it's difficult. So...
Oh, here we go. So there's some on Man United addicts breaking.
Okay.
Drum roll. 2 hours ago, this was. Wilcox will inform Jim Radcliffe tomorrow lunchtime about the intention to part ways with Ruben Amorim. Tomorrow lunchtime. So you can't pick up the phone now. You can't pick up the phone. Can't do that. You can't say, Jim, any chance I could come and see you? Would you mind, Jim? You're gonna wait till tomorrow lunchtime. What a fucking, you know, that's what pisses me off about journalism. because
Mm.
it's not true. It's anyone can. It's clicks and views, and it's all that. So, look, guys, we will find out.
We will be back tomorrow night. We will do the Jarvis's Corner, the panel show. So we will know more. We don't get any answers tonight. I don't think we will get a breaking Ruben Amorim is sacked and all of this. We are bringing in Maresca or whoever, or caretaker or whatever. We will know more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got the football at your pal. It's been a great show, though. I've really enjoyed it. Actually, really enjoyed it. It's been great. There's been some brilliant comments tonight. I think everybody's really appreciated everybody's views tonight.
70 likes. Thank you.
It's been really great. That is because it's quite a tough. It's quite a tough period for the club again, and people are angry, people are upset, and it's really interesting. Yeah, you're right. Again, Mike is right. It's got to go through the New York Stock Exchange as well, haven't they? So yes, it's got to do that. Look, you sack him. What do? You bring in Maresca and we sack him in 2 years. What do you do?
Yeah.
We bring in Jarvis. You sack him after 2 years. What do? You bring in Woolley. You sack this mug after 2 years. What do? You just keep ripping.
I wouldn't give Woolley more than a year maximum.
I wouldn't give Woolley.
He will get relegated right away.
I wouldn't give 6 months to this, Ted. No, but the point is, what do we keep doing? Surely we've got to land on somebody and stick. And if we have 5 years of pain, we have 5 years of pain. But surely we've got to land on somebody at some point and stick.
Yeah.
I mean, do we go for Glasner? Do you try Glasner? Do you try Iraola? Who do you try?
Mid-season, that's impossible.
Of course it is. Who do you try? Yeah, look, I agree with that, Boxer Straight. That's kind of what I was saying. You keep sacking till you find the man, but we don't know who the man is. That's the thing. I think, this club has got to be in better hands. First and foremost, it's got to be in better hands. I'm not saying Amorim would be brilliant under Qatar or a Saudi Arabia or an Apple or an Elon Musk or whoever. We've got to get the club in better hands. And until we do that, I think whoever comes through that door is still going to have the same issues. They can't all be bad managers, pal. They can't. They can't all be bad managers.
But it's not just about the managers. It's about the backing. It's about spending power. It's about wage budget. It's about how much resources you put into the club. It's not a coincidence that Real Madrid, PSG, Manchester City are amongst the best clubs in the world. We don't like it, but money plays a big part in the modern game. And if we are not willing to back any manager, we all see how bad our squad was. We sat here at the end of the summer transfer window, rating the window. I said we didn't do enough. A lot of people were happy. They gave it a 7, an 8, a 9. But for me, I knew that we were coming to this, a couple of injuries, and we would be struggling. And this is where we are at the moment. And I also see the quality. We don't have enough quality in this squad. We have so many players that should have been booted out of the club for a long, long time ago. Many years ago, they have been clinging on to this Man United thing. And, players like Casemiro, okay, he had a good season. He's on 350,000 K a week, 18 million pounds a year for 6 years. And we signed him as a 29-year-old. What a stupid contract to give. And now we are struggling because of this. So we have to show some balls, being a club. We have to take risks. And the risk is push out and replace. We have to act swiftly because, this long-term dragging things on inevitably, it's like a illness inside the club, and we see it. We bring in new players, Cunha and Bumo, Cesco, and it takes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in, and suddenly they become poor. And they get affected. We need to be stronger in the windows. We need to sign 10 players. We have to make a difference. Then you have to risk something.
But we've been talking about this for years, pal. We've been talking about that exact same thing for years. I mean, you know, the amount of times we said cancel contracts, stick Rashford. I said to you once, didn't I? Make Rashford captain and stick him in front of the fucking press.
Yeah.
Deal with that. Yeah, deal with that. Expose them. We don't do that. We're not tough enough as a club. And, you know, clubs like Fulham are run brilliantly. The reason I mentioned Sander Berger, which is quite important. Fulham aren't a team that can rest players, not of his quality, but they made the right choice for the club. And this is what goes on. CRM3, sorry, I've lost your comment again, but I did see you talk about Ineos. You know, we were probably better under Murtaugh and I can't remember who you said. Oh, that's this the one. Yeah. No, it was another one. I think
this one.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Murtaugh and Arnold. Yeah, these guys are underhand and control freaks. Yeah, they are. But at this point in time, we're stuck with these control freaks. That's the issue that we've got. And I don't want to be stuck with these control freaks anymore. I don't want the Glazers anywhere near our club. And I don't want Jim Ratcliffe anywhere near our club. I don't want a billionaire actually anywhere near our club because I don't get football. You want somebody like Tony Bloom, whether people like him or not, and how he made his money through gambling, whether people like that or not. He understands football. You need those types of people. You know, Peterborough United fans are up in arms about Dara, whatever his name is, but he's been there for 20 years and he knows football. He knows how to run a football club. These are the types of people you need in and around. You don't need billionaires. We just don't need them. You know, football needs billionaires, unfortunately, now, but we don't want them. And therein lies the issue. A billionaire, they're all snakes, they're all liars, they're all cheaters, and they'll sell their mother for $1. They've done it for years, and getting Elon Musk in, it'd be the same for everybody. It's just money to them, and that's the problem. And until you get rid of billionaire owners and you get proper football people back in clubs, you're fucked. And the reason you need billionaire owners is because you, as Jarvis quite rightly said, dishing out 350 grand a week contracts. I mean, it's fucking crap, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn when it comes to Ruben Amorim. You know, I don't like his ideas. I don't like his win rate. I don't like how he set up his team. I'm not a big fan of the back three. But again, you know, Ruben Amorim, as Noradin always say, he didn't hire himself. And you know, I saw this coming years. I saw this coming when we hired Ruben Amorim. I said so. If you can go back and watch the first show after we hired Amorim, I said so. Yeah. It's not the right appointment. But, you know, and we talked about the best in-class footballing people, all of this. It's just PR bullshit, in my opinion. And we are not doing a proper job as a football club. And you're 100% right in what you're saying, Stu. These billionaires, they don't know jack shit about football.
They don't. You know? I mean, he came out and said, didn't he, Amorim, I didn't want to come at Christmas. I wanted to come in the summer. I wanted to come in the summer. I made it clear. But I was told, if I come in the summer, I don't come at all.
Big up, Bowman. Big up.
Big up, Bowman. So he was willing to sign a contract. I'll see you in the summer. And they couldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. They wouldn't allow it. And they seem to think that's the way forward, and it isn't. Billionaires
feel like a fraud. You know, he stood on Old Trafford after a terrible season. We lost the Europa League final. The good times are coming. You know, he talked. He said in interviews, we wanted a midfielder. We didn't give him a midfielder in this. We didn't back him properly in the summer. And now we see the result of all the past mistakes. And eventually it's Ruben Amorim taking the blame. And you know,
he's going to be the punching bag. He's always going to be the punching bag. And like I say, if they don't make a decision, come the presser, that's all he's going to get talked about. It should cancel the fucking press conference, to be honest. We're not doing a presser against Burnley unless you talk about the game.
Yeah.
You know, because all he's going to be going over the same old ground. He's going to get more and more frustrated, more and more angry, more and more pissed off.
Yeah.
We don't need it. So if they don't deal with it before that press conference, you may as well not bother dealing with it. Why wait for 4 weeks? Chelsea and Manchester United are different animals, completely different animals. So it's done now, or you may as well wait till the summer. If you're going to do it tonight, or wait till the summer. Or you could wait till 12 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, I don't want to bother Jim now. I don't want to bother him about that. I'll see him at lunch tomorrow. Yeah, and then I'll tell you we're gonna fire him. Fuck off. Yeah, it's stuff. What an idiot. Must be dumb.
Yeah. I you know, as I said, I'm torn. I don't know if sacking Ruben Amorim is the right choice. I want to see a process through, but again, it is what it is.
Well, look, you know, if you just sail into the sunset and hope it's going to get better, it never does. You end up sinking, and we are potentially. You know, the club is sitting in sixth place, genuine sixth. Yeah, results have gone our way. The Premier League's, it is what it is this year, but we're genuinely in sixth place. If I was the board, I'd be looking about how I can help you get to top four because of the riches we're going to get in the Champions League group stage. That's what I would be doing if I was the board. A serious football club looks at it and backs him. They do. That's what happens.
You back the manager. That's what you do as the footballing structure. You back the manager, help him make the correct choices, and try to do the best. You know, why do you hire him in the first place if you're not going to back him? You know, especially when it comes to a specialist manager, tactical manager who plays a completely different style than his former managers. You know, Ten Hag and Ole. It's not the same. You know, now we play with back three.
Yeah, we're there on merit though, and that's the other thing. And the frustration thing is, you look at those three draws. We're sitting a clear fourth. If we win those, we're sipping a clear fourth. You know, so it's not as bad as we think. But look, and the league doesn't lie. That's the other thing. The league doesn't lie. So at the end of the day, you either back him or you don't.
100%. I agree. I see Sean is still live, so guys, we will end the show, and I will redirect you to United versus everyone, and Sean. So just stay on this channel. You will get a notification and click on it, and you will be moved over to Sean's channel. Sean is a great guy, so he deserves all the help we can give him. Thank you, everybody, for all the brilliant comments. We can't forever. It's almost 2 hours into the show, but we will be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Doing the Jarvis's Corner, and Mark will be with us. And I will try to see if we can have maybe Sean on and have a full panel. That will be great, because I think we need more opinions. I need more views on this Amorim thing. So there will be a lot to debate tomorrow night. So guys, stay tuned. If you haven't hit that bell notification, you will get notifications every time we go live. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like if you haven't, and afterwards leave a comment in the non-live section. And if it's available, hype the video. I will also do a couple of shorts from this video, and then will come out during the morning. So guys, girls, thank you, Stu, for being on the show as my co-host as always. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I just want to thank Suparch for the super chat, and 2 super chats from I Am Titanium Belal. So thank you all for the lovely donations, and we will see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Okay, have a good one, and stay tuned, because you will be directed to Sean, and let him know in the chat that it's a tactical devil raid. Bye bye.